Yeah, it's what they call a slow business day in sports, but you know what you do? You bring in the big guns.
Yes.
Like this gentleman right here.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Burt Grossman. Burt, thank you for coming in, PPR contributor, and that's what everybody knows you for, obviously.
Oh, yes. You straightened that out here.
Yes, I'm glad.
I'm
glad. Hey, did you watch the Aztecs? I want to say Aztecs highlights, but you corrected me. Did you watch the Ohio Aztecs game yesterday, and what's your assessment of that?
I thought it was terrible. I mean, not just the play by the Aztecs, but the actual stands, the whole atmosphere. You know, we talked about that earlier. Recruiting is all about these kids watch these bowl games, and they want to play in front of people. It's not good to lose to a team like Ohio and get dominated, and it's really not good in front of that kind of crowd for recruits.
I mean, that's definitely not the way you want to end the season, too, losing 27-0. Let's listen to Rocky Long. This is one of his reasons why the Aztecs weren't successful, losing 4 or 5.
I'm going to say this. I mean, we can delve into this as deep as you want, and we're evaluating everything in our program, and it might be nothing, but we don't have one big-time player. That might be the difference. We averaged 2 touchdowns more, about 14 points more a game last year. If we'd have done that this year, guess what? We'd have won 10 or 11 games. So it might just be a fact that we didn't have one big-time player.
Now, is that a coach making excuses, or is he right in what he's saying?
He might be right, but it's not something you say because your other players hear that and they say, well, what am I?
Right.
I'm not a big-time player.
Right.
But, you know, and obviously he's talking about Pumphrey and Rashad Penny and some other people that left. But, you know, it's your job as a coach, especially in college. 90% of your job is recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Saban, everybody in the SEC, they don't run these difficult offenses and out-coach people. It's players, yeah. So 90% of your job is actually recruiting. But I don't agree with that. I think if you're a head coach and you say one guy makes the difference, then you're not really valuable as a coach.
Right. The other thing, though, the Aztecs picked up 12 yesterday and one more today, Rashad Penny's brother. First and foremost, have you looked at the recruiting class? And secondly, do you like the early signing day?
I like the early signing day. The recruiting class, I know Shawcroft. I like him out of Helix.
Yeah, he's.
If Rashad Penny's brother's half as good as Rashad, that'll be great too. Then they'll solve that problem. But I mean, I like it. When we got recruited, there wasn't as many bowls, and that last month is just brutal. I mean, the sole focus of every college coach is to come to your house and get you to sign.
Right.
And it was a real stressful time for school, academics, anything, your social life. So it's good to get it out of the way if you know where you're going.
For people that don't know that haven't been recruited, you were obviously recruited to Pitt. I mean, let's not talk about the thing that we talked, but it's stressful. Yes, it's stressful. It's stressful, isn't it? Because you have so many people coming at you in so many different directions.
It is, and I went to a Catholic school, so we weren't allowed to just get pulled out of class. So they would literally be lined up in the office, arguing with each other, bad-mouthing each other.
Wow.
And I was recruited for 2 sports, so it really became an issue. So, you know, I don't see it happening like that now as much because you have social media and cell phones, and I don't want to date myself, but we have VCRs and stuff. But so there's more ways to get to kids other than knocking on their front door, and that was stressful.
Yeah. Let's talk about San Diego Chargers. San Diego Chargers, 7 Pro Bowlers. Deserved?
I think so. You know, I don't know about Melvin Ingram, not because he's not a good player. I just thought there were some better players, but the rest of them, absolutely. You know, it's hard because, you know, I bash them a lot, and everybody sees that you bash the Chargers. And I bash them for what they did to the community. I live in the community. You know, they left it from everything, from community involvement to team, everything. But it doesn't, you know, taint me enough not to say that they're not good. I mean, because they're obviously good. I mean, you have a head coach that should or could be the coach of the year.
He's been the difference maker,
I think he has been the difference, yeah. I mean, they basically had the same roster. They've added a couple pieces, but him and Telesco have really made this a good team. And teams don't go beat Pittsburgh when they're down by 3 touchdowns in Pittsburgh, and you don't beat Kansas City. So, I mean, I still don't like them, and I still won't cheer for them, but I can admit they're good.
What do we do now? What do we do? We're San Diegans. We were Charger fans, and then we're sitting here watching, I think, the best team since 2006, since they went 14-2 under Marty.
And probably better because Phillip Rivers is so much better.
Right.
You know, it was pretty much LT then in the defense, and then Phillip Rivers would pluck around. But they're pretty complete right now. Right. So, and the AFC's kind of wide open with the somewhat, you know, downfall of New England. I don't know if that's premature because they're still going to win 11 games, but it's a wide open division. I don't know.
I'm going to ask you about Eric Weddle. He was today. He was noted as saying basically he's a little salty.
Yeah,
he's a little salty, and the Ravens are coming to play the Chargers this week. Your thoughts about his quote? I mean, he just didn't like how he went out, basically.
No, and there's a long line of players that didn't like how they went out from San Diego. I think the Chargers under Spanos are known for that. Not doing it in a good way when they go out, when they leave. From Junior to Rodney to him to a whole list of people. But and the difference with him and Rodney, Junior was a little older, but Weddle's in the Pro Bowl again this year. Weddle was still in the prime of his career and was really a big part of the community, and I think that's what hurt him the most. It wasn't the business decision of you have to go to a new team. It was just like, I'm part of this community. I'm part of this team. A big part of it, and I'm still in my prime.
We're going to skip ahead real quick. Tony Bland, the family. He just reached a plea deal today as the USC basketball coach. What does that mean for everybody else?
It means everybody else in trouble. You know what plea deals mean. You've been watching enough of the news to know what that means, right?
I do.
In a different political forum. But plea deals usually mean you're talking and cooperating. But I know the family. I find it hard to believe anybody in that family. Both of his parents are, great jobs, educated. I just don't see it.
All right. Well, there you go. Burt Grossman. You can watch this. Again, we're going to put it on KUSI.com. That's the KUSI News at 6, or KUSI News at 5. The KUSI News at 6 is coming up next. So definitely check it out.